The second generation Fire Stick 4K, let me explain what the differences are between this and the Fire Stick 4K Max second gen and the first gen of the Fire Stick 4K and the Fire Stick 4K Max. So Amazon originally released the Fire Stick 4K in 2018, and then they released the Fire Stick 4K Max in 2021. And with that, there were a lot of improvements in terms of overall features. The original Fire Stick 4K came with 1 GB of RAM, it came with 8 GB of onboard storage, it came with a quad-core 1.7 GHz processor, and it came with Bluetooth 5.0, which is, at the time, leading. So what do you get in the second generation? Now you're getting a quad-core 1.7 GHz processor, basically the same speed, but they've overclocked it, or at least they've overclocked it enough that you're getting a 25% boost in overall performance. You're going to be getting 6 GB of onboard storage, which is not a lot, but you're going to get an increase in terms of the onboard memory to 2 GB of RAM. And the second generation is coming with a 650 MHz GPU. Previously, on the first gen, it had come with a 660. But before you say, well, that sounds higher, just remember that the 650 megahertz here is going to be tuned better, so you're going to get faster and snappier overall graphic performance. It's going to be lighter at 43.5 grams versus about 53 on the original Fire Stick 4K. But the biggest differences are they changed up the design, and now the Fire Stick is coming with Wi-Fi 6. So previously, you were on dual band, so you're on 2.4 or 5 gigahertz. Now, by adding the Wi-Fi 6, suddenly the second generation Fire Stick 4K is now the first generation Fire Stick 4K Max. Basically, the second generation Fire Stick 4K has a lot in common with the first generation Fire Stick 4K Max. Why? This came with Wi-Fi 6. Now, the Fire Stick 4K comes with Wi-Fi 6. This comes with a 1.8 gigahertz quad-core processor. Here, you're getting a 1.7, but you're going to be getting a quad-core, and it's 25% faster than the previous models. And the Max came with 1.5 gigabytes of RAM, which is a little bit less than the 2 gigabytes now you're getting on the Fire Stick 4K Max.
So Amazon actually kept the small Fire Stick remote for the second generation Fire Stick, and I found that really weird because they have the larger remote in all the televisions as well as inside of the Fire Stick 4K Max second gen.
The only major difference is that the Fire Stick 4K Max has a slightly faster GPU at 750 megahertz versus 650 here. But they both are going to be able to utilize HDR, HDR10+, Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos. So in terms of overall features and in terms of overall user experience, you might not experience a real difference here. So let's compare the scrolling speed and the loading speed on the second generation versus the first generation Fire Stick 4K. So I'm just going to scroll on these Amazon originals and exclusives. I'm just going to hold the button. Let's see. That's the new one. This is the old one. So you can see how much smoother the new one is versus the old one. Remember, that's the new one. This is the old one. And as you can see, it is definitely faster on the second generation. We're going to try with another one. We're going to try with another selection. Press them both at the same time. And definitely the second gen is going to load up faster than the first gen. I don't think that's really related to the download speed. I think that's related to the processor. So that's one of the key differences, is that everything loads a little bit faster, just a little bit smoother on your second generation versus your first generation. So this is going to be on our second generation Fire Stick 4K. And now we're running our speed test on the Orbi. We are at pretty low ping. I mean, this is actually very low ping here. And our down speed is going to be on the Fire Stick 4K second generation, 369. And our up speed is pretty fast. So on our second generation Fire Stick 4K, we are getting 369 down and 260 megabytes up. That's really fast. Now, we're going to run this test one more time. Right now, we are getting 434 megabytes per second and 317 up. This is really fast. We're going to run it one more time just to be sure. So we're getting 381 megabytes per second down and 278 up. So we're averaging about 380 megabytes per second. Sometimes we get higher, sometimes we get like a little bit lower, but on average, it's about 380 megabytes per second. And that's on the Amazon second generation Fire Stick 4K, not the Max. So if you're looking at overall Wi-Fi speeds on the first generation Fire Stick 4K Max, we're looking at about 330 to 340, maybe even 350 megabytes per second, depending on how many devices I have connected. Then if we get to the Fire Stick 4K first generation, we're looking at closer to about 219 megabytes per second and 178 up. But it's download speed everything, because you only need about 15 megabytes per second to stream Netflix in 4K, maybe 20 if you're streaming Prime or Disney Plus, but most of the major streaming services and platforms, you only need somewhere between 15 and 25 megabytes per second for it to be really seamless and for everything to load very quickly. The faster the speed, everything's going to load a little bit faster, but it's marginally better. And for many things, most of the times, the processor is the bottleneck, is not going to be the actual internet speed. But both are pretty much the same in terms of viewing, scrolling, streaming, because both are very snappy. I don't notice a huge performance difference between either one. It really comes down to, do you want ambient experience or you don't want ambient experience? Do you want to get a better remote or do you want the normal, smaller remote? Do you care about having faster or slightly faster upscaling? Because to be honest, most people won't notice. And until Amazon releases the AI Alexa, well, it's hard for me to fully recommend the Amazon Fire Stick 4K Max 2nd Gen over the regular Fire Stick 4K, because guess what? I think AI is the game changer here, and until the interface and the UI changes, well, overall, they work the same. So with that, thanks for watching, everybody. If you have any questions, leave them in that comment box below. We will get back to you. And please hit that like or subscribe button. It really does help support our channel. And I'll catch you next time. This is Dave with the French Glow, signing off. Bye, bye, bye.